Hello Gremlins, and welcome back to my channel for another episode of History with Miss Barney, Civil War Stories version. I hope your Thursday is going well. Before we get started today, I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys. So many of you have been doing awesome getting your work in this week, and you guys are just killing it lately, so great job. And then, in attendance question news, the moment the last few weeks have been leading up to, today I'm going to be revealing who won the best ice cream flavor between cookie dough and cookies and cream. So drum roll please. Winner is cookies and cream by like 10 points. A solid choice, Gremlins, a solid choice. Moose Tracks is still better, but you know, that's okay. I was actually gonna eat whatever ended up winning, except I just had a cookies and cream shake 2 days ago and it's a little too soon for my taste, so that means it's up to you guys to go eat something cookies and cream related in honor of its victory. I don't make the rules, you're the ones who chose it. Alright, so let's jump into today's Civil War stories. So yesterday we talked about the Battle of Antietam, which was not only the bloodiest day in American history, but the battle also had two major consequences. Of course, the biggest one was that it gave Lincoln the ability to pass the Emancipation Proclamation, which changed the lives of 3.5 million enslaved people in the South. The other consequence is that the Union commander, General McClellan, was fired after Antietam. Lincoln had it with him being overly cautious and he wanted someone new, so he offered the position to another general, General Burnside, to be the commander overall of the Union forces. Real quick, let's take a second to admire General Burnside's facial hair. I mean, that is some dedication if I've ever seen it. You should totally bring that style back. Alright, anyway, so General Burnside actually didn't want to take command of the Union Army, but Lincoln said, if you don't take it, I'm gonna give it to this other general, General Hooker. You can laugh, yes, I know. And Burnside hated Hooker, and so he didn't trust him. He decided, what the heck, I would rather me be in charge than trust Hooker with this, so I will take command. And then Lincoln told all of his Union generals, you guys need to do something. Go on the offensive, win some battles, because the American people are starting to lose confidence in my abilities as president. So out west, Grant is unleashed and totally goes and does that, but back east, Burnside's kind of okay, I'll try. So this is going to lead to the Battle of Fredericksburg.
Alright, so here's the deal with Fredericksburg. So General Burnside, the newest commander of the Union Army, attempted to move on Richmond, the Confederate capital, with more than 120,000 troops. When he attempted to cross the Rappahannock River, he met General Lee's army in battle. Lee's army had the high ground, and the Union was forced back with heavy casualties. There were a lot of dumb decisions made in this battle, and it had disastrous consequences for the Union soldiers as they were trying to cross. The battle was so bad that it was described to Lincoln as not a battle, but butchery. So this happened in Virginia from December 11th to the 15th, 1862. Union commander was Burnside, Confederate commander was Lee, and then Stonewall Jackson was also there since he's pictured. The casualties, the Union had 12,653 casualties, and the Confederates had 5,377 casualties, so a huge defeat for the Union. The winner was clearly the Confederates. The significance, this was one of the most lopsided battles in the war, as you saw from those difference in the casualty count. The Confederate morale is greatly improved. They have a lot of confidence in Lee at this point, and they think they can really win this war with Lee in charge. On the other hand, Union morale just plummets. They can't believe this happened, and Lincoln is heavily criticized following this since he was pushing for an offensive.
After this, Lincoln actually says, if there is a place worse than hell, then I am in it. So Burnside is done not long after this, and then Lincoln ends up putting that other general, General Hooker, in charge of the Union forces. The next battle we're going to talk about is the Battle of Chancellorsville.
Alright, so at Chancellorsville, General Hooker had taken control of the Union Army. He was trying to march on Richmond when he attempted to outflank General Lee. So he was basically trying to sneak around him. He thought he was successful until General Stonewall Jackson comes out of nowhere and launched a surprise attack. So Hooker tried to continue his own attack, but Lee successfully outmaneuvered him, forcing the Union to retreat because Hooker was too timid.
So once again, a Union general is too timid, and this time Lee doesn't just escape. Lee flat out defeats an army that is twice the size of his own. Lincoln is disgusted.
So Chancellorsville happened in Virginia from April 30th to May 6, 1863. The Union commander was General Hooker, Confederate commander General Lee. Casualties, the Union lost 17,304 men. The Confederate Army lost 13,460. And among those casualties, if you look down at the interesting fact, this was the battle where Stonewall Jackson was hit by friendly fire, leading to his death. So the winner was the Confederate Army. The significance, this is considered to be the greatest Confederate victory of the war. It was called Lee's Perfect Battle. And then General Jackson's death was a blow to the Confederacy. He was a pretty solid general, and Lee even said he lost his right-hand man.
So right now, Lee and the other Confederates in the East are looking really powerful. But let's switch gears and go out west. Out west, we have Grant, and let's catch up with what he's been up to.
This is a story of Vicksburg. So Vicksburg was the Confederates' last major stronghold on the Mississippi River. I'm not sure if I've talked about it before, but the Confederates could not afford to lose the Mississippi River. That was their main way of transportation because they did not have a very, very good railroad network. And then if they lost the Mississippi, then their country was basically going to be split in half, and the western states were going to be cut off from the eastern part of their country. So when the Union forces tried to attack it, they were repelled with heavy casualties because the Confederates were not going to give this up easily. So General Grant decided to lay siege to the city. His men established a line of trenches and dirt forts around Vicksburg and cut it off from the outside world, so nothing was going to get in or out. They constructed trenches aimed at the Confederates' defense. So they get tired of waiting, so in June, they dug up to the Confederate line, tunneled underneath, and blew up the tunnels filled with black powder to destroy the rebel trenches. So the rebel situation was dire as they were almost completely out of supplies, so they surrendered on July 4th. Now, I'm not sure if this is true, but there's kind of a myth that because they surrendered on July 4th, the Vicksburg town never celebrated Independence Day for like at least 80 years. Like I said, don't know if that's true. So this happened in Mississippi from May 18th to July 4th, 1863. It was a long one. Union commander was Grant, Confederate commander was General Pemberton. The casualties, the Union had 4,835 casualties. The Confederate casualty count was 32,363. Now, if that sounds like crazy high, take a look at the interesting fact. The large number of Confederate casualties comes from how many were captured. And in fact, Grant decided not to take these guys prisoners because he didn't want to have to feed 30,000 men. So he just made them promise to never fight again and they could go home. Most of them broke that promise, but anyway, the Union won. So the significance, the Union gained control of the Mississippi River. The Confederacy is split into, this is the most important battle in the West because after this, the West is basically won for the Union. So good news. And then the good news for the Confederates was that Grant was occupied for a month because, I mean, he was doing a pretty good job at beating them. So if he was busy, the Confederates were happy.
So Grant is still like one of the only Union generals that can actually get the job done. That's why he's pictured up here. Next video, we're going to be going over the most famous battle from the Civil War, one of the most famous battles in American history, so stay tuned. But until then, I hope you guys stay healthy and you stay safe. So I will see you later. Goodbye.